All right. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahweh Shai, Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahweh Shai, Barakateh Yahweh, Barakateh Yahweh Shai. Kohalor Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakal Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well and who taught me this truth. And shalom to you sincere Akim out there listening, learning, and pushing this truth. And shalom to the few sincere Akwath that are out there listening and learning as well. And with that being said, I'm gonna jump straight into this video. Lord's willing, it'll be edifying. And as usual, I'm gonna go in the Rakak Kwadash. And for the record, today's date is May 26th, 2020, the year of prophecy. All right. And like I said, Lord's willing, it'll be edifying. And I'm going in the Rakak Kwadash as usual. So this pretty much this video here off of Al Jazeera English from today, also May 26, 2020, the year of prophecy, is pretty much the video that I guess inspired this whole lesson. Okay, I got a couple videos. They're all pretty much on the same topic, same theme, I guess. You know, so they're all linked together. You'll see, Lord's willing, it'll all flow together. You know, but the main thing that I wanted to really push, or idea that I really wanted to hit was the idea of or a concept or a theme or this theater of war, whatever you want to call it. Okay, you know, that's what Esau Edom is doing. You know, he's setting the stage for this war, the third war, the third world's war, the third woe. Okay, as the scripture said, the second woe passed, the third woe cometh quickly. You know, of course we have Jacob's trouble, which we're at the door of. You know, which is gonna famine, so on and so forth. You know, uproars of the people, so on and so forth. You know, a time of trouble. You know, which is ultimately gonna lead to what the hour of temptation, which is what the mandatory implementation of the RFID microchip. We know that. But also, in the midst of that, or as you could say, as a cherry on top, the climax, don't forget you have the third woe, the third world's war, you know? And in the midst of that, Yahushua is going to return, you know? As the elders say, for the final galactic battle, if you may, you know? So that's pretty much what where this video is heading or what it's going to be about or centered around. If you may, you know, the theater of war and what recently just happened, you know, regarding Venezuela and Iran. All right, so let's see what do I want to start with. As you can see, you could probably already see it, but it's off of Al Jazeera English. It says first Iranian oil tanker reaches Venezuelan waters, and this wasn't just an overnight thing. This was, as you're going to see, the U.S. had a heads up about it, you know. So a couple things played out prior to this for the actual tanker to actually arrive, at Venezuela, you know. And like I said, all of that, like I said, is pretty much the theater of war, you know, if I'm making sense, you see. So this is off of Google. It says what does theater of war mean? It says definition of theater of war. It says the entire land, sea, and air area that is or may become involved directly in war operations. Okay, and the ultimate war that it's leading to, like I said, is the third woe. Okay, the third world's war. Okay, the war to end all wars. Okay, you know, Yahushua, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, who is a so-called black man. Okay, a so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah. He's gonna come back in the midst of that, in what you ignorantly call UFOs. Those are the chariots of the angels, and first and foremost, Yahushua, okay, who you ignorantly call Christ. All right, you see, he's gonna come back in the middle of the third woe to redeem his elect, you know, who are scattered, you know, amongst the four corners of the earth, you know, but chiefly in Babylon the Great, you know, which is America, you know. But anyway, Pretty much, like I said, that's what everything is leading up to, the theater of war. The distractions, the you know, that's how Esau works. Sleight of hand, witchcraft, the deception, the false narratives, with but ultimately, what did the scripture say? His words are smoother than butter, but war's in his heart. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We know ultimately, and besides, we have the script. We have the scriptures, which is the which tells us the end game. And this is ultimately a movie. Yahweh's movie, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's movie. We have the script through the scriptures. And the scriptures say that what Yahweh is a man of war. Okay, the Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. So hey, this is, like I said, the theater of war. Like I said, I hope I'm making sense. I'm kind of rambling, but Lord's willing, and by the end, if you stick through it, it'll make sense. All right, so I'll come back to this. All right. Matter of fact, let me start with a scripture first. Salakia. Let me start with a scripture, because like I said, ultimately, this is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's war. Okay. You get straight to the point. I don't want to make it too long. Okay, Joel 3 and 9. Okay, I'm going to start at 9. Joel chapter 3, verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, meaning the other nations. Okay, there's multiple definitions of Gentiles. Okay, you have the Israelite foreigners. Okay, the Israelites that didn't know that, like not spiritual, it's lucky. Physical Israelites, that are in a Gentile state of mind, a heathenistic state of mind, that didn't know that they're Israelites, like we were. We all were. We didn't know. We weren't born into this truth. We woke up later on in life, and came back into remembrance, into our heritage, As it is written, we had to discontinue from our heritage first. There had to be a falling away first, and then the man of sin be revealed. So that's one definition of Gentiles, but another definition of Gentile is the actual heathen nations, non-Israelites. And in this instance, this is talking about non-Israelites. For example, Esau, Edom, okay, Moab, Ammon, so on and so forth, okay. So it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the other nations, okay. Prepare war, okay. It says, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, okay. Let them come up. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong, okay. Because like I said, ultimately, what you're watching, we're witnessing in live and direct, 3D, 4D, whatever you want to call it, live and direct, you're watching the theater of war. Ultimately, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's war, okay? You see? Because he's gathering the armies, You see? But I'll come back to this. I'll come back to this. I don't want to jump the gun. I just wanted to hit that point. But Esau, Edom also is, doing his little thing, his witchcraft. But man's goings is of the Lord. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. He turneth it ever whichsoever he will. So it's ultimately all roads are leading to, like I said, the third woe, the hour of temptation, of course, Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, and all that stuff. But also the cherry on top, the climax, the galactic battle. Is going to be the third woe, and Yahweh Shai is going to return in the midst thereof. All right, so anyway, without further ado, let's get it. All right, like I said, this is what kicked it off. So here it is, off of Al Jazeera English again, from today, May 26th, 2020, the year of prophecy. It says, first Iranian oil tanker reaches Venezuelan waters. All right, so let's play this.
The Iranian oil tanker Fortune is courted by the Venezuelan military in the Caribbean Sea. It's just one of the 5 tankers carrying over 1.5 million liters of gasoline. It's heading...
Okay, so we're going to dissect this a little bit. And you're going to hear other people go into it. I got a couple articles, like a couple clips, like I said, that are going to touch on certain things. But it had to be military escorted through the Caribbean Sea because we in that time of war. Okay, war, that's big. Them big news. That's big news, and they're gonna kind of touch on it, I believe, in this one. That it's bigger than just the oil. It's more than the oil. Okay, you're witnessing the theater of war. Okay, every little thing means something. It's a bigger picture. They're playing chess. Okay, and this is a big spit, a big finger, if you may have it, against America, U.S. Babylon the Great, that whore. Okay, you see what you're gonna see later on, but I just wanted to point that out. And it said the first of 5 oil tankers. Okay, so here we go again, Salakia.
The Iranian oil tanker Fortune is courted by the Venezuelan military in the Caribbean Sea. It's just one of the 5 tankers carrying over 1.5 million liters of gasoline. It's heading towards El Palito refinery in the state of Carabobo. President Nicolás Maduro says his country has the right to import gasoline.
Tenemos derecho.
We have the right to trade freely in the seas of the world, in the skies of the world, between us, between Iran and Venezuela, to exchange products, to buy products from us, to sell products to us.
But not everyone agrees, especially the United States. Washington has already imposed sanctions on both countries and is considering new ones. Gasoline is scarce in Venezuela due to a near-complete breakdown of its refining network. Years of mismanagement and lack of investment have had a devastating effect into what once was one of the biggest oil exporters in the world. The Venezuelan government imposed a strict lockdown almost 2 months ago to deter the spread of COVID-19. Most gas stations in Caracas are closed, and in the ones that are open, people have to line up for hours.
I come here every month, and it takes us one night. I came at 5 and I have to stay until the next day. I only get 20 liters.
The gasoline from Iran will only last for a while. It won't change anything. There are political reasons, socio-economic. We depend...
You see? It's bigger than the gas. It's political reasons. Okay, I'm gonna come back to this, but it's political reasons. I'll let you hear him say it again. I was waiting for that part. Okay? It's political reasons. So let me like I said, what you're seeing is a theater of war. So let me get this definition again. It says, what does theater of war mean off of Google, right? It says definition of theater of war. The entire land, sea, and air area that is or may become involved directly in war operations, all right? So, like I said, ultimately, this is Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai's war, theater of war. We're all just characters in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai's movie, all right? So, straight to the point, like I said, Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. It says, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, Jehoshaphat, which is over there in the Middle East. Okay, you see, that's where the galactic battle is going to take place. Not in Venezuela, not in South America. Okay, it's in the Middle East. Okay, but what you're witnessing is a theater of war, the politics, so on and so forth. All the things that even with the COVID-19, bread and circuses, everything is a distraction. Okay, all part of the wicked elite's plans, because we know they play both sides of the fence. Ultimately, they're trying to establish this new world government, this one world government, this cashless society. Okay, but ultimately, they're in a trick bag, they're in a snare, because this is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's theater of war. Okay, he's gathering the armies, he's making putting them thoughts in the king's hearts. He's making the weak say they're strong. Okay? You see? So it says, assemble yourselves and come up, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither. Cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Alright? Okay, that's what you see coming, man. I'm going to jump down. Verse 14. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. So the ultimate galactic battle is drawn near, and you're witnessing the theater. Okay? So let's get back to, like I said, I hope this is making sense. You know, I'm trying to go slow and make sure I hit it properly. Lord's willing, it's coming out right.
I come here every month, and it takes us one night. I came at 5, and I have to stay until the next day. I only get 20 liters.
No se va a solucionar el problema porque eso es...
The gasoline from Iran will only last for a while. It won't change anything. There are political reasons, socio-economic. We depend on the authorities to give us gas and let us move. It will last only for a few months.
Iran has become a strategic partner for Venezuela since Hugo Chavez came to power. In the past months, Venezuela relied on companies like Russia's Rosneft for gasoline.
You see, in the past, Venezuela openly relied on Russia, but America put sanctions on Russia and Iran, which we know Russia, first of all, Iran is the Persians, all right? So, but and they're all allies of Russia, Gog, which we're gonna get. See that you see, just patience, it'll come together. You know, so let me get this real quick since we're talking about it, because like I said, you're witnessing the theater of war. I'm gonna come back to that video, okay? But to prove a point, all of them are actually gonna, as the scriptures say in Revelation 17 and 16, okay? Start at 15. It says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, which is America, Babylon the Great, okay, are peoples, all right, and multitudes and nations and tongues, all right, through what? Through the beast system, NATO and the EU, which is the rebirth of the Roman Empire. NATO is the military force, the military might of that beast, okay, and the EU is the financial might, the financial arm, okay, and ultimately they're trying to establish a cashless society, okay, a one world order government, okay, a world order, you know. They're trying to be like the Most High, so they're ultimately going to try to chip the people, which is the hour of temptation. But there's going to be a war, a third war, because ultimately, as it says in Revelation 17 and 16, the allies of this place are going to turn against her, okay? You know? So it says Revelation 17 and 15, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, America, Babylon the Great, are peoples, and multitudes, and nations, and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, her allies, okay, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, okay? So ultimately they're going to thermonuclear destruction, okay? Okay, they're going to rain missiles on this place, and also in other places around the world, you know, but chiefly America, all right? Her ally, this place is going to be utterly destroyed, all right? Okay? You see? So, it says, let me read a little bit down. So it says, for Yahweh have put in their hearts, why? Because this is ultimately Yahweh Shai's theater of war. This is his movie, all right? We're all just characters, okay? You see? So it says, for Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill his will. This is the Lord's will, to destroy this place. That's why you can't heal Babylon, okay? Her sins have reached up to heaven, all right? It's time for this place to be judged, and the Lord's elect to be redeemed, all right? The redeemed of the Lord, man, all right? Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And this is the way we're going to get into the kingdom, man. Tribulation, Jacob's trouble, hour of temptation, World War III, thermonuclear destruction. This is the plot, man, all right? This is the script, all right? You see? It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For Yahweh hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, America, Babylon the Great, that whore. It says, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Okay, but they have deceived them. They have deceived Esau, Edom. All right, but we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. So back to the video. Like I said, all right. Let me pull it back just a tad. To Jorge Gonzalez. He made a good point. Jorge made a good point.
No se va a solucionar el problema porque eso es un pañito.
The gasoline from Iran will only last for a while. It won't change anything. There are political reasons, socio-economic. We depend on the authorities to give us gas and let us move. It will last only for a few months.
Iran has become a strategic partner for Venezuela since Hugo Chavez came to power. In the past months, Venezuela relied on companies like Russia's Rosneft for gasoline.
Russia.
But the situation has changed in the past year.
Rosneft no tiene instalaciones cerca del país tampoco.
Rosneft stopped being interested in Venezuela mostly because of the sanctions.
They never stopped. They never stopped being interested. Okay, they never stopped. But what happened is they're being crap. You're watching crafty counsel, back deals, and everybody jockeying and ultimately everybody teaming up with Gog and Magog, as the scripture said. They never left. Okay, they never lost interest. Okay, but because of the sanctions, they had to go about it a different way. You see, you watching the theater of war. Okay.
In the past months, Venezuela relied on companies like Russia's Rosneft for gasoline. But the situation has changed in the past year.
Rosneft no tiene instalaciones cerca del país tampoco.
Rosneft stopped being interested in Venezuela mostly because of the sanctions. It has to do with strategic decisions. They'll have to invest lots of money, and there are so many troubles in Venezuela that people are not attracted to. Iran is a desperate measure for a country that has been collapsing for years.
A desperate measure that will give the government some air in the months ahead. But that won't solve the endemic troubles Venezuela is facing today. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera.
So, like I said, what you see happening is the weak saying, I'm strong, man. Oh, Salakia. What is this? Salakia. Alright, so let's go to the scriptures. Then I'll come back, alright? Because like I said, Russia, Gog, and Magog never lost interest in Venezuela or Iran. They're being slick, And America is not ignorant. America knows. That's why ultimately they're going to have to go to war, all right? Because America, that whore, Babylon the Great, is losing its hegemony. It's losing its power. Its global power, its global influence. Because the weak nations are strong. They have the great equalizer, okay? The missiles, all right? You see? So this is Ezekiel 38:1. It says, And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, which is the Russians, okay? The chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, okay? And say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will bring thee back and put thy hooks, and I will bring thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, okay? Meaning he's going to put that Cold War, stir up that Cold War spirit, that Soviet Union, old SSR spirit, all right? Because it's about war. Ultimately, we're going to war, all right? Like I said, the words of their mouth are smoother than butter, but war's in their heart, all right? It says, and I will and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Because what? They beat their plowshares into swords, man. All right? It says Persia, which is Iran, okay, the Iranians, Ethiopia, and Libya. And Libya is in the news a lot also. Okay, it says Persia, Ethiopia, and that's just a few of them, all right? Moab, you could throw Moab in there, Venezuela, okay? You see, because they're all in cahoots, they're all in consent, they're all confederate against Esau, Edom, okay? Let me jump over here right quick to Obadiah 1:6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? It says, all the men of thy confederacy, all your allies, as it said in Revelation 17 and 16, okay, and the 10 horns, your allies, all right, the ones that are confederate with thee, all right, you know, you see, it says, all, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, okay, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire, okay. See what it says in Obadiah, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee, okay, have deceived thee, they tricked you, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. You see, they plotting behind your back. Prime example, Saudi Arabia, okay, in cahoots with who? Russia and Iran, you know, playing both sides of the coin. But ultimately, the scriptures say they're gonna side with Gog and Magog, okay. You see, it says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Why? Because we're watching the theater of war. Okay? The theater of Yahweh Shai's war. Alright? You see? It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Okay? You see? So, back over in Ezekiel, it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, at the house of Togomar and the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. You see, so other nations also. You see, for example, Moab, and so on and so forth. North Korea, you know, today you know for sure, old Kim Jong Un gonna throw some nukes over here. You know, so it says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. Who is he talking about? Gog and Magog. Okay, they're going to be a defense to these nations. Especially, prime example, Venezuela. They never lost interest, but they're going about it craftily through Iran. You know, just like when America tried to throw Guaido, okay, to Asher or Barack Obama, when they tried to numerous times have coups in Venezuela, Russia came to their aid. You know, you see. See, so it says, be thou prepared, talking about Gog and Magog, Russia, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. That's why Russia's giving them, you know, what do they call them, S-400s and so on and so forth, you see? Giving them missile defenses and selling them weapons, you see? It says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. You watching the theater of war, okay, amidst this COVID-19 pandemic, okay? You see? War is brewing, man. The ultimate war. The third's woe, man. Okay? So it says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. Okay? And America's preparing also. That's why you see they shot off that nuke, man. They testing their guns, man. You know, everybody getting their ducks in a row. Okay? You see? So it says, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Okay? You see? So that's what we're witnessing, baby, the theater of war. So let's go back to some videos here. Alright? So this is, remember, this is from today. This happened today. The actual tanker touched down today. But this has been brewing. This has been brewing. Okay? So this is from May 18th. Okay, today's date is May 26, 2020, the year of prophecy. This is from May 18th, 2020, the year of prophecy. Okay, like I said, you're witnessing the theater of war. Okay, off of RT America. So let's hear a little bit of this. It says, Iran and Venezuela cooperate. U.S. looks to intervene. Yeah, they're looking to intervene, but they couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop it because ultimately, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai's will is going to be fulfilled. Okay, and ultimately Russia is going to think an evil thought, man, to go into the land of unwalled village, cities, however it goes, man. They going to, man, anyway, let me stop blibbity blabbing. Let's play some of this. Like I said again, off of RT America, from May 18th, 2020, the year of prophecy, Iran and Venezuela cooperate, U.S. looks to intervene. And as you can see, fast forward to today, they couldn't stop it. And this is just the first of 5 tankers, okay, that's supposed to touch down. But like the brother said, Jorge, it's bigger than it's a bigger agenda than the oil. It's sending a message. The weak are saying they're strong. It's a big finger to America. All right.
2 countries that have been the subject of crippling sanctions from the United States are now working together. As Iranian ships head to Venezuela, the U.S. is reportedly looking for ways to intervene, which could signal a new conflict amid increased tensions. RT's Rachel Blevins is joining us now from the newsroom with the latest developments to this. So, Rachel, what more can you tell us on this story?
Well, Manila, both Iran and Venezuela have been hit with extensive sanctions by the U.S. over the last year, which has severely limited their oil sales and hurt their economies. But now the U.S. may also move to try to prevent the 2 countries from working with each other. In response to reports that Iran is in the process of shipping oil to Venezuela, an anonymous senior U.S. official was quoted as saying, "It is not only unwelcome by the United States, but it's unwelcome by the region, and we're looking at measures that can be taken." One of those measures could be deploying U.S. Navy ships to the Caribbean Sea in an effort to prevent 5 Iranian tankers that are currently en route with more than $45 million worth of gasoline and supplies from reaching Venezuela.
You see, I wanted to just point that out, how serious it is. It isn't a light thing, okay? The tensions are high, man, okay? The tensions are high, very high, okay? Very high. They were thinking about deploying warships to stop it. Okay, that's how serious this thing is. But ultimately, we know that that's not going to happen over there. The war, the third war, is going to take place in the Middle East, like it says. Okay, that's where the Valley of Jehoshaphat is. But this war is a brewing. Okay, you see. Again, Joel 3:9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles: prepare war. Wake up the mighty men." Okay, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, "I am strong." Okay, why? Because God is coming to their defense, their aid. They got their back, so they clicking up. Okay, all they that eat their bread have laid a wound under thee. Okay, you see, this thing is about to go down, baby. Okay, we witnessing the theater of war again. Okay. So let's go back into this. All right, back it up a little bit, Slovakia.
Only unwelcome by the United States, but it's unwelcome by the region, and we're looking at measures that can be taken. One of those measures could be deploying U.S. Navy ships to the Caribbean Sea in an effort to prevent 5 Iranian tankers that are currently en route with more than $45 million worth of gasoline and supplies from reaching Venezuela's ports. You
see? So, hey, the Caribbean Sea, that's hostile territory, man. That's why they had to be escorted. You see? So, I got a couple more. You get the idea, the point. Okay, but this is from yesterday, right? I got a couple more. I'm gonna play to show you again the theater of war. That's the theme, the theater of war. Amidst all this other bullshit, a lot of things are happening. This 2020 for sure is the year. 2020 for sure is the year of prophecy, man. Prophecies are screaming. Things are moving quickly. You can't even keep up when you sit back and look at the big picture of what's really going on. Because remember, this is chess. Not checkers. All right. It's pretty much if you play chess, and for y'all that play chess, it's like mating like 3, mating 3. You could pretty much say 2 or 3 moves. Esau Edom's checkmated. Game over. Once he makes that chip mandatory, it's game over, baby. It's beautiful. Call her lawyer. How about you? Shower close, man. All right. So this is off of RT America from yesterday, May 25th, 2020, the year of prophecy. It says, breaking. Angry Venezuelan ambassador slams U.S.-Iran threat. All right, and it's not just going to be threats anymore. Soon it's going to be, it ain't just going to be talking soon. All right, there's going to be action. All right, they trying to throw sanctions here and sanctions there, tariffs, which they've been doing, throwing tariffs on all their so-called people they have problems with, like China and so on and so forth. But They just been going behind their back and doing their own thing, you know? It's beautiful. You see, America, Babylon the Great, is losing its hegemony, it's losing its power. Okay? The weak nations are saying they're strong. Okay?
Welcome back. I'm Rick Sanchez. Iran today is defying a U.S. order. And here's what's going on. Because of severe U.S. sanctions and the COVID-19 pandemic, Venezuelans are said to be suffering from a shortage of fuel in their country, among other things. So it's asked Iran to try and help them out. But then the United States stepped in and warned Iran that if it sent shipments of oil to Venezuela, the United States would stop them and turn them around at sea. Iran went ahead and kept its promise to Venezuela anyway and sent 5 tankers to Caracas, which arrived there sometime this weekend, essentially ignoring the U.S. threat. So what's going on? Joining us now to talk about this is Samuel Moncada. He is Venezuela's ambassador to the United Nations. He's good enough to join us. Mr. Ambassador, thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule. Maybe we start with this. Do you have any sense of what the U.S. will do, given that they've made this threat? And are you worried?
Of course we are worried. We are worried because there are crazy people at the top of the government in the United States. And they have been not just barking, they have been actually associating our economy and using, first of all, threatening with the use of military force, but then with the mercenaries attack of the last May the 3rd, they actually used mercenary forces from Colombia to attack Venezuela. I mean, these people are really outliners. They are not the normal U.S. administration, which is usually aggressive. They are beyond that, and they are set.
That's ultimately why their allies are going to get tired of it, man. America is going to do something that's going to piss these people off, man, and they're going to turn on her, okay? They're going to say enough is enough, all right? Enough is enough. I just wanted to play another one to show you that it wasn't just Iran and Venezuela. It's Iran and China also. You see, all of these countries are going to come against, like I said, they're going to come against America, the whore. And we can't forget it says the least of the flock shall draw them out. We can't forget Israel. You know, they gonna get in the mix too. You know, over there with the Palestinians, so on and so forth. So this thing is brewing, man. All right. So this is off of a Ring Rang, however the hell you say that, news from May 16th, 2019. So this is from last year. Pretty much this time last year. All right. So this thing been brewing. Been a brewing. But the tensions are getting higher and higher. All right. So this says tankers unloads Iranian fuel oil in violation of U.S. sanctions at China port from Reuters.
An Iranian oil tanker has unloaded cargo at a Chinese port, making the oil look like it came from Iraq. If confirmed, the violation of U.S. sanctions may deal another huge blow to what remains, at least, of U.S.-Iran ties and reinvigorate tensions between Washington and Beijing. Chasami reports.
You see, and remember, Iran is Persia. You see, I just wanted to show that real quick because this thing been going on. Like I said, it's a theater of war. It's brewing, but the tensions are getting harder and harder. Okay, you know, the walls are closing in on Esau, Edom, Babylon the Great. Okay, you know, so they're gonna have to move soon. They're gonna have to move soon. So this is like I said, that was from last year. Okay, that's why I just wanted to show that real quick. Probably about the same time last year. All right, the same things were happening. All right, so this is from yesterday, May 25th, 2020, the year of prophecy. This is off of RT, right? It says, old dog, old tricks. U.S. uses Cold War tactics to pin blame for COVID-19 on China. Because that not just Gog and Magog, the hooks are being put back, but just in general, that spirit is being, where is it? Where is it? No, it's not. Where is it? At the top. Slovakia. Where is it? No, Salakia's in Ezekiel. Salakia. My bad. Salakia. Salakia. Ezekiel. It says Ezekiel 38:4. It says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws." And like I said, that's Russia, but in general, this time that we're in is that Cold War spirit, that war, that because what was the Cold War? It was about thermonuclear destruction. They're about to go to. It was about to be another third World War. But it died down supposedly. But Yahweh Shemel Shai is stirring that spirit back up. If you can receive it. Because it's that time, So it says, old dog, old tricks. U.S. uses Cold War tactics to pin blame for COVID-19 on China. All right, so let's listen to a little bit of this. And it's all, like I said, I'm just trying to paint the picture. It's ultimately the theater of war. Like I said, everything is, if you can receive it, is because wars are brewing, man. All right, because ultimately Babylon is losing its power, its strength, which is ultimately the plan of the wicked elites to crash this economy, order out of chaos,
Now to the US, where the number of COVID deaths is expected to reach 100,000 in a few hours. While some accuse the government of grossly mishandling the crisis, Washington is trying to pin the blame on Beijing. It's compared what it alleges was a Chinese cover-up of the initial outbreak to the Soviet response to the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. RT's Saskia Taylor reports.
The US is feeling a bit humbled at the moment. It always insisted it was exceptional, and it really did exceptionally badly handle the COVID pandemic. So if you're its leader, you need to deflect from an economic crisis, soaring unemployment, and a high...
This is why I'm closing out with this. Because if you notice, the words that she's saying, deflect, the theater, it's theater, bread and circus, it's all distractions, smoke and mirrors. Okay, like I said, his words are smoother than butter, but war's in his heart. Ultimately, we know where everything is leading through the scriptures, and ultimately, it's the Lord. The Lord is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. This is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's movie. This is his war that he's gathering the armies. You see, but it's all theater, distractions. You see. Hopefully it's all coming together. It's making sense.
It always insisted it was exceptional, and it really did exceptionally badly handle the COVID pandemic. So if you're its leader, you need to deflect from an economic crisis, soaring unemployment, and a high death toll. But you're also really quite busy testing out disinfectants. You don't have the time to come up with a whole new political strategy. So you look to history, and sure enough, an old friend emerges. The chilly days of the Cold War.
We must be vigilant against the fact that some US political forces are hijacking China-US relations in an attempt to push our two countries to the brink of a new Cold War.
Decades ago, you wanted those poor, repressed people behind the Iron Curtain to taste freedom in a Coca-Cola bottle. So now you need to find some 21st century poor, repressed people who are just thirsting for your liberty.
That the weak say I'm strong. You see, that's what they're doing. They're trying to topple these weak countries like Venezuela. You see, the same thing. We in them times, man. But it kind of died down with the scripture when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come upon them as a woman in travail. You see, and we in them times, all right? We're getting close, man. We're getting close. This war is a brewing. Sedition amongst men, Same thing like last year, the yellow vest. Ain't nothing dying down, man. We in them times, all right? So I'm gonna close out. Come down here, Salakia. No. This is what I wanted to close out with Joel. My bad, Salakia. Was it here? Was it? Kind of Joel. Alright, so here it is, Joel 3 and 10. Again, beat your plowshares into swords. Oh, 3 and 9, my bad. Yeah, Slaki, this is 3 and 9. Joel 3 and 9 says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Because what? This is that we're witnessing the theater of war. That's what I was looking for. The Wadi Habashin Yoshai, Salaki. So it says, theater of war. Definition of theater of war. The entire land, sea, and air area that is or may become involved directly in war operations. So this is going to be a world's war. You know, a world war, a global event, you know. You see, and that's where everything is leading to. You see, but ultimately, this is Yahweh Shem Yahushai's movie, Yahweh Shem Yahushai's war. Okay? You see? So it says, proclaim me this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. Prime example, Venezuela, North Korea, China. Okay? They're all strong now. You see? It says, assemble yourselves, and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get ye down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Like I said, the sins of this place, man, chiefly Babylon the Great, America, that whore, and these other nations are going to get judged also. Why? Because they gave consent unto this beast, this whore. Okay, that's why, hey, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is not with Russia and Moab and Ishmael, you know. You see? That's why he said, set thy face against them and prophesy against them. They're just an ends to the means, a means to an end. All right? You see? Because what? Ultimately, it's a theater. It's chess, baby. You see? That's why it said, it says, for Yahweh have, Revelation 17 and 17, for Yahweh, he did it. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai did it. This is his movie. All right? He created the smith that bloweth the coal. All right? Those nukes, that's the Lord's army. That's, you know? This is his movie. This is his thing. All right? You know? So it says, for Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, to fulfill his will. Okay, and the king's hearts are in the heart of the Lord. He turneth it ever whichsoever he will. All right, and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast. They gave consent. Okay, and they're gonna get judged also until the words of Yahweh shall be fulfilled. All right. You see. You see. So it says, let the heathen, back in Joel 3 and 2, let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. There will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe, because the slain of the Lord shall be many. Okay? It says, come, get ye down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. That's what Yahweh Shaphat means, the valley of decision. Okay? For the day of the Lord Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. Okay? So anyway, with that being said, Lord's willing, this was edifying. Hopefully it made sense. It all came together in the end. And like I always say, keep pushing, man. We're close. Shalom. Wa abad babal.